make sure all the chances go.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. So, talk about my reflection when I was teaching, especially in applying questioning skills. First of all, when I entered the class, I asked basic questions like, how's your day? Who are you? Who is the leader of this class? Does anyone absent today? And etc. And I also asked about the material that the students had studied previously to test students' memory. And I also explained the learning objective of the material, especially procedural tasks. And I connected it to everyday life about how important procedural task is by asking my students questions that test students' understanding, application, and students' analysis. And I also apply synthesis and evaluation skills to students before class ends to find out what students have gotten for the day. And in asking questions, I ask students randomly and in turns, so that there is no special treatment that makes my students feel unnoticed. And I also ask general questions first before giving question to specific students. So like, yeah, if there is no students that can answer my question, I mention specific student's name. And then when I continue to ask questions to other individual students, I also spread the answer of the previous students first. And of course, I give my students time to think about my question. And so far, I feel like for some skills, I have done well, but there are some that aren't so realized when I teaching, because yeah, as we all know that this is like peer teaching. So yeah, my student is my friends, my own friends. So in this case, yeah, because my student is my own friends, where they are quite enthusiastic in answering my question, so that they will understand without me having to frequently ask questions in other ways. Yeah, maybe that's all for me, and maybe that's my reflection as a teacher in this matter. Thank you very much for the observer, for your observation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Nufadila Aulia from Group 4 Microteaching. So I would like to tell about and explain a little bit about my observation report. So first one is the total amount of questions asked by microteacher during teaching session. Okay, so during the teaching session, the microteacher asked like 14 questions, and the second one is the amount of questions asked by the microteacher during the opening part. So during the opening part, the microteacher asked like 3 questions, yeah, and the third one is the amount of questions asked by the microteacher during the closing part. So during the closing part, the microteacher asked like 4 questions based on my observation. And the fourth one is the classification of questions asked by the microteacher. So first one is pertanyaan convergent. So pertanyaan ini tidak menuntut siswa untuk menjawab lebih dari satu. So the microteacher would move to another student after the other student giving one answer. And yang kedua itu pertanyaan divergent. Jadi pertanyaan divergent itu menuntut peserta didik untuk menjawab lebih dari satu, memberikan jawaban yang terbuka. Kemudian yang selanjutnya adalah the clarity of the microteacher's question. So based on my observations, each question I think clear enough So the micro teacher menggunakan kata-kata yang mudah dipahami oleh peserta didik dan juga pertanyaan yang sangat jelas. Yang selanjutnya adalah the distribution of the micro teacher question. So based on my observation, the distribution of the micro teacher questions are very good. The micro teacher as seputar topik. Kemudian selanjutnya the level of, yang terakhir itu the level of questions asked by the micro teacher based on Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom's taxonomy terdiri dari 6 level. Yang pertama itu adalah pertanyaan ingatan atau remembering. Yang kedua pertanyaan pemahaman, understanding. Pertanyaan ketiga pertanyaan aplikasi or applying. And pertanyaan keempat itu pertanyaan analisis atau analyzing. Pertanyaan kelima pertanyaan evaluasi or evaluating. And the last one is pertanyaan mencipta atau creating. Jadi yang pertama itu pertanyaan ingatan, remembering. So the micro teacher ask the students like, did you remember the previous topic we have learned, or like do you remember what we learned last week? So the students would answer with like yes or no. And the second one is pertanyaan pemahaman or understanding. Jadi the micro teacher ask question like, does anyone know what procedure text is, or like what is the definition of procedure text is? And next one is pertanyaan aplikasi or applying. So the question that the teacher ask, like, how would you know if it's a procedure text? And the fourth one is pertanyaan analyzing. Based on my observation, so the micro teacher asks, where do you usually find the procedure text? And the students would answering by giving evidence and others. And 5 is pertanyaan evaluasi or evaluating. So untuk mengetahui jadi pertanyaan evaluasi ini adalah untuk mengetahui kemampuan peserta didik. Jadi the question is like, can you cook Indomie? Or how do you cook Indomie? Or like, what do you do before cooking Indomie? So something like that. And then the last one is pertanyaan mencipta atau creating. So the teacher would ask questions like, she would make new questions based on the topic that we have learned. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I am Siti Nurul Anisa Rahim as a observer lanjutan. So here I would like to give a comment about Nur Fadila Zahira as a teacher in our group. So here I have a paper of lembar observasi lanjutan that I have to give a comment about her. So the first one is pengubahan tuntunan tingkat kognitif dalam menjawab pertanyaan. I think she did it well, but did not that well because pada bagian evaluasi on this student side, when Dilza give a question to her students, the students didn't really recognize or didn't really remember about previous material. So I give her 2 points. So, pada bagian kedua, urutan pertanyaan. I think she did it really well, because when she give a talk or give a penjelasan to her students, itu caranya mengajukan pertanyaan secara berurutan. Maksud saya tidak hanya terfokus pada satu siswa saja, namun menyeluruh kepada siswa lainnya. Itu menurut saya. So the third point is pertanyaan pelacak. Jadi maksud di sini pertanyaan pelacaknya itu, I think it's she did it well but did not that well. Maksud saya, semuanya sudah cukup bagus, namun masih ada perlu yang diperhatikan, seperti pertanyaan klasifikasi. Pada pertanyaan klasifikasi, she didn't do that. Yeah, I think I remember it because I'm in there when she teaching in the class. Dia tidak memberikan pertanyaan klasifikasi kepada siswanya, seperti ya you know lah pertanyaan klasifikasi seperti apa. So nomor 4 itu mendorong terjadinya interaksi antar siswa. Jadi pada bagian ini pemaparannya sudah cukup bagus, namun when she give a question to her students, the studentsnya tidak terlalu membangun suasana dalam diskusi pertanyaan gitu. Maksud saya ada beberapa, there are several students do the discussion about her question, but students lainnya itu didn't do that anymore. So I think that's all for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.